Hello, hello, it's Lance, and it's time to talk Beatles news. This is episode 19. A lot has happened since my last news video, so let's jump right in. First off, some sad but maybe not surprising news. The release of the new documentary on the Beatles' Let It Be era, Get Back, has now been delayed. After years of speculation, then months of press releases and interviews, and a single sneak peek for Hollywood folks, we were finally on track to see the Peter Jackson documentary on September 4th of this year. But thanks to the current health crisis and its impact on virtually everything, the film premiere has now been pushed back to August 27th, 2021, almost a one-year delay, according to Variety. Many of us were also expecting a Let It Be album box set at some point this year, perhaps timed with Get Back's release, but this was never officially announced. Also, a restored version of the Let It Be film by director Michael Lindsay Hogg has been announced, but never with a release date. I'd say all bets are off for us seeing either of these in 2020. These projects are really too big to be released with a whimper instead of a bang. But if you've got any insider info on these timelines, feel free to reach out to me privately. You can send me an email, FabFourArchivist@gmail.com, or PM me over on Facebook, facebook.com/FabFourArchivist. Now for some happier news, even if it'll make your wallet sad. As I first mentioned on this channel in a Beatles news episode from August of 2019, Paul McCartney's post-anthology solo album, Flaming Pie, is getting reissued. And now we have a date and many more details. This will come out on July 31st and is the 13th release from McCartney's solo Archive series. The 1997 LP has been remastered at Abbey Road Studios, and it's getting the full treatment with releases on streaming services, vinyl, CD, and 8-track. Wait, not 8-track, but pretty much every modern format. There's the standard release, just the album, and a deluxe edition with 5 CDs and 2 DVDs. Lots of extras here, including B-sides and selections from Ubu Jubu. This version is currently priced at around $260 US. But for the, how do I put this the right way? For the superfan with sufficient cash flow, they may be interested in the collector's edition, which will have a run of just 3,000 copies. It's currently priced at $600 US on McCartney's website. This version is the deluxe version with extras like a cloth-wrapped box, half-speed vinyl master, and a portfolio with 6 Linda McCartney photographs. Personally, this is my favorite Paul McCartney solo record. But wow, I don't know if I'm going to be able to spring for either of these premium versions. I don't mean to be cynical, I really do love vault releases, but frankly, I'm tapped out. After the recent Beatles box sets, I'm realizing that one can only have so many collector's items before all they do is collect dust. But I'd love to hear your comments and your thoughts on this. So are you going to spring for Flaming Pie 2020? If so, what version?
Let's go.
Ready,
Let's continue with some more Paul news. He took part in a live stream event broadcast on June 20th in support of the Preservation Hall Foundation. His performance closed out the stream with a rendition of When the Saints Go Marching In, featuring Paul on trumpet. Yep, trumpet. Similar to the Global Citizen stream from April, this performance was done remotely. But unlike when he performed Lady Madonna for that event, Paul had a little help here. He sang with the Soul Queen of New Orleans, Irma Thomas, as well as previous McCartney collaborators Elvis Costello and Dave Grohl. I've linked to this performance down in the description. To learn more or support the foundation, check out prezhallfoundation.org. Now I want to take just a second to ask you to like this video here on YouTube, and please share it on Facebook or elsewhere if you're enjoying it. And if you're new here to the FabFourArchivist channel, you should know that this channel covers Beatles news from time to time, but also makes short films about interesting events in the band's career. For example, the story behind Here Comes the Sun, or my latest video, When the Beatles Sang in German, that details the interesting story of their German language recordings, Komm gib mir deine Hand and Sie lieb dich. Please check those out, and be sure to subscribe and hit the bell to see more videos in the future. Next up, let's talk about something increasingly rare. An unheard Beatles tape. And what makes this one incredibly special is that it's from their very first recording session at Abbey Road. Beatles engineer Geoff Emerick apparently kept the tape after being instructed to trash it, and held on to it since its creation in 1962. After his death in 2018, the tape became property of his family, but is now at the center of a legal battle between the family and Universal Music, who owns the rights to the Beatles recordings. There's a little more backstory here, so I've linked to Roger Stormo's excellent work in discussing this down in the description if you want to learn more. As I noted briefly in episode 18 of Beatles News, Astrid Kircher has died. Paul McCartney noted her passing, saying, "Astrid was a dear friend from my Hamburg days with the Beatles." Kircher died on May 12, 2020 in Hamburg. Similar to my Connections video on Tom Petty shortly after his passing, I'm planning on a video that more deeply explores her ties to and influence on the Beatles. Be on the lookout for that by subscribing to the channel. All right, that's it for this one. Thank you so much for watching, and now, if you haven't already, check out my latest long-form video, When the Beatles Sang in German, the story of their German songs. It looked like it was right out of the Mad Hatter's Tea Party. After some convincing by Martin and sheepish apologies from the Beatles, they all headed directly to the